According to various business tycoons, thinking big is much more important than technical knowledge. Then, what should be the traits and skills of a leader? I am Dr. Abhinanda Gautam, and you are in the session 6 of the video series Leadership in Business. In the session of traits and skills of a leader, what we are going to cover. Today, we are going to cover how leader traits and skills are related to effective leadership, what traits and skills are most relevant for effective leadership, what traits and skills best predict success in a managerial career, and how the relevance of a trait or skill depends on the situation. What are the specific traits related to leadership effectiveness? And we have discussed quite a lot in our last videos that leadership skills and traits are irreplaceable in a leader. And that is why it is said that there are specific aspects in a leader that determines his or her leadership skills, like high energy level and stress tolerance, internal locus of control orientation. I hope you remember what is internal locus of control. There are two types of people that exist in this world. One is people that are driven through external locus of control. They rely quite a lot on external factors like what is the day-to-day, what is the location of stars, what is the position of astronomical aspects, right? And that would determine their career, right? And such factors. On the other hand, there are people that are completely driven by external locus of control. Their hard work, their determination, their thought process, their planning, their qualification and education, their determination to work. And it is said that people that turn into greatest leaders, whether political, business, societal, or organizational leaders, they are actually driven by internal locus of control. They believe that the value that they bring to the business is because of them, because of the team, and because of the support that the person, whether him or her, gets from the organization. It is a lot on emotional maturity, and in my other series of emotional intelligence, I'm going to talk about what do I mean by emotional maturity. But it depends from person to person. People that are with high leadership characteristics or traits, they remain self-aware, they remain self-regulated, they practice empathy, they practice social awareness, and they practice relationship management as well. So they have high personal integrity. They are socially adaptable, right? And their socialized power is a great motivation because they are always not the people that are friendly with others, but the moment they build relationships, they make it a point that their friends, right, or the relationships that they have built believe in their vision. So they take their people with them towards the vision that they are thinking of. Then they are highly confident, and here it's written they are moderately high achievement orientation, because achievement is not only about thinking yourself or thinking about yourself. It is the achievement, it is the thought process of considering the achievement that how many people with you are moving towards your vision. So that is why they are not obsessed towards the sense of achievement, but they definitely believe that people with them should also feel the sense of achievement in themselves. And it is moderately low need of affiliation. They always don't believe that they should be given credit for the success, and they don't have as high need of affiliation that I have done it or I am the one responsible for bringing value to the business, but it's everyone, but it's we, but it's team, and that collaboration brings the sense of affiliation for them. It is also said that there are different types of personality, like big 5 personality types. This is a very famous aspect, right? And in a room where you are sitting with people, you can very well spot, right by the gestures and postures of a person, that what kind of a personality trait of a leader he or she possesses. And I am proud to show this picture. There are a lot of business personalities in this world that are females and bringing huge changes in the society. Like one of the first black chairperson, female chairperson of Johannesburg Stock Exchange is a known Kululeko in Yembezi Hita, and she was the first female CEO of ArcelorMittal, and she has created examples for many females that yes, it is possible. There is no such industry that is called as male-dominated industry or male-operated industry. Should you believe that you can do, then universe conspires to make it happen. So yes, guys. So what are these big 5 personality types? Let's get in detail. These are, as you can see, right from surgency to conscientiousness, right? And then agreeableness, adjustment, and electance. It starts with surgency, that there are people that have high extroversion power, right? Their energy level, their activity level, and the assertive need of power. They believe that they have the complete capacity and capability to influence others, to inspire others. And in the room, they are the first person that would approach you to say, hello, how are you, right? And I am this and this, and let's chat about what's happening in the world, right? So you can very well see that how these people are different, because they have high extraversion skills as well. They can speak to strangers at the first go. So yes, guys. Then the next one is conscientiousness. That is a kind of personal high sense of personal integrity, the need for achievement and dependability as well, that you would like themselves to be the one that would feel like they are reliable, right? You can trust them, and you can discuss your problems, your ambitions, right? Your career path with them, and they would not only listen to you but craft a path wherein you believe that you are comfortable, right? And you would like to follow that person, not definitely not blindly, but definitely with informed information, and then you will take an informed decision to be with that kind of leader. The other one, the third one, is agreeableness. As you can see, they are uptight, they are upbeat, they are cheerful, they are optimistic, and they are sympathetic, they are empathetic as well, and you will feel that they have a need for affiliation, not only for self-affiliation, but they take people with them, right? Because of the kind of personality that they are. Adjustment, they have high self-esteem, they practice self-control in situations of pressure, in situations of tight deadlines, in situations of strong conversations and confrontations with the management, but they are calm and composed, and they practice emotional stability when they speak to their followers, team members, or even peers. And the last one is electance. And you might not find this word very frequently or very often in day-to-day lives, because it is more about inquisitiveness. It's more about curiosity, to keep on learning, to be open-minded, to even practice reverse mentoring. Reverse mentoring, to provide a video series of mentoring and coaching as well. Reverse mentoring is a new term. Like we say that mentoring is from highly skilled, aged, highly experienced, and senior person to a new person, younger person, and lesser experienced. Now, reverse mentoring in various aspects, like eruption of information technology aspects, artificial intelligence, and henceforth we all know that we even 4IR is getting old, and we are stepping into 5IR world, and not many of the senior leaders are accustomed, right, or acquainted, or well versed in such aspects, and they don't mind to be open-minded and learn from youngsters, learn from other generations. So that is why they are curious, and they believe that there is no stage to learn. Learning never ends. Every day is a school day, right? So they are learning orientated, and these are the 5 types, right? And like they have a dominant personality type when they talk to people or when they operate in business. However, it is said that too much of everything, right, or too much of anything could also take you to the negative aspects, right? And that is why you need to understand, or need to strike a balance between the two. So what are these? Like, too much of something something, or having too less of something, right, may hamper your productivity as a leader. And that is why, like self-confidence, right? Too little, then you are not even decisive. You want to avoid risk. You always keep on mitigating risk, and maybe there is a lesser capacity in you to influence others. Or too much may sometimes bring arrogance in you. You may take erratic decisions, right? Or sometimes because of too much of reliance on your intuitiveness, right, you may take too much of risk, right, that you may go wrong. And similarly, need for esteem, right? In case there is no esteem or very less esteem, then you might not be recognized for, though you don't demand too much of affiliation, but at least you need to be recognized for the work you do. And sometimes you lack to build that kind of reputation so that you get recognized. And in terms of too much, then you are always preoccupied in the run or rush of getting reputation and maintaining that status quo. And sometimes because you have too much of high self-esteem, you try to cover up for your mistakes, or sometimes go for the blame game as well. You blame others for the mistakes that you have occurred, right? Or the mistakes were because of you. And sometimes if it is too high need of affiliation, then you are overly concerned about being liked, right? You turn into an egotist when you are not there, right? You want people to talk good about you. Sometimes it's that you are insisting too much on better performance only because, again, you are in the rush of proving yourself to the management. And sometimes if it is too little, then you don't put that much of attention or that much of endeavor to building strong relationships or build a social support network. That is why it's extremely important that as a leader, you need to understand, right? You need to put conscious efforts towards the development of yourself, right, as a leader. Sometimes it's need for independence, altruism, and performance orientation. For example, if I have too much of value orientation, then sometimes you're too forgiving, right, and generous, and you don't at all believe in transactional style of leadership, right? That is give and take. Sometimes people need some negative reinforcement, right, if the situation demands, so that they can improve themselves, right? And if you have you sometimes are hesitant to ask for sacrifices, right, or maintain discipline because you are too much orientated towards altruism. I hope you understand its selflessness, right? And then need for independence. If you have less need or too less or too little need for independence, then you are dependent on others for direction. You wait for others, right? You're rule orientated, right? And you avoid taking initiative. You again take a safe zone, right? Or you play safe, and you don't want to hurt anybody, and you feel that it is better, right, to be not too demanding in terms of being independent. If I say performance orientation, then if you have too much of orientation towards performance, right, then sometimes you turn into a hectic, right, a perfectionist, or sometimes you're overly demanding, or you never get satisfied because it is not hitting your chord, right, of perfection. And your subordinates or your team members may get frustrated because of the kind of perfection you demand from them. And then it's also said that if you are too weak in performance orientation, or you have too little orientation for performing, then the person accepts weak performance, right? That it is okay, it's fine, let's see how does it happen, right? Let's take a chance, and maybe you won't even push for improvement. So as I said, it's important not to be sailing on the two extremes, right? But to understand what is needed, and practice your understanding according to the situations. And then what are the guidelines for understanding and improving relevant competencies? And it is said that sometimes it's not only the competencies that are needed, right? You don't have to be a maths expert, or you don't have to be a data scientist to be a great CEO of a data-orientated company, right? It's just that you need to have a fair understanding. And that is why, I would like to give you an example of a boy, right, that was born in 1964, and he was under always constant inquisitiveness to learn English. And because he was not from a native country's native speaker of English, right? So that is why he tried and tried to learn and understand English so that he could impress others, so that he gets self-satisfied. And that obsessiveness was to that extent that when he was very young, then he thought of an idea. The idea was to meet to the tourist of that nation, and I'm talking about China, right? And he used to go early in the morning, wake up 5 o'clock in the morning, ride a cycle, right, and reach to a hotel, stand in front of the hotel. When the tourists came out, he used to say that I'm going to show you around. It's just that in return, you need to teach me English. And that is what he kept on doing, right? Days after days, weeks after weeks, and years after years. And his obsession towards English was that good that one family of Australia found him really, really good and said that they are going to take him to Australia. And he flew to Australia with them. And you would not even believe that this guy was disastrous in mathematics, right? To the point that in his grade 9, he achieved 1 out of 120 possible points, right? 1. And he sat again for that exam, and what maximum he could do is to score 19 out of 120. But then he never felt devastated. He kept on trying, and that is why he tried again and again and again, and at last he got into teachers college, right, which was not as good, right, maybe one of the least respected universities, right, in there. But he did his bachelor's degree in English and found a job as a English teacher, right? And in one of his trip to Seattle in 1995, a friend showed him internet for the first time. And then he believed that, what is this? And he was literally smitten, right, by the kind of a role of internet that would like play in the years to come, right? And that is why he thought that of going back to China and introduce and register for his own company in the name of China Yellow Pages. But not according to his thoughts. That company into its knees, right? And it was again one of the biggest failures that he felt that it was of his life at that time, because it was a little office and consisted of a single room with a workstation and a very old PC in the middle. And the biggest problem was that it was not even possible to access the internet in his hometown, right, which was in Hangzhou at that time. So he thought of doing something else, right? And what he thought was to show people about the website, right? That you can create the services that you offer. Why don't you create websites? And people were not even aware of this concept of internet. And what he used to do, he used to borrow money, or not borrow, he used to ask money, right, from his friends. And then he used to give the information to his Seattle friends to create websites for them. So you can imagine for the first 3 years, he was known as a scam businessman, right? But after that, as we all know, right, he kept on increasing and increasing his business, and today he is one of the richest person in the world, right? And he established Alibaba.com, one of the biggest e-commerce companies. When he registered Alibaba at that time, for the first week, he and his 7 friends that actually registered the company used to buy and sell their products in between themselves. In the second week, there was a buyer for them, and they could buy everything that the person sold, and it was into the trash, literally trash of those 2 rooms that they had. But after that, it is the history, right? We all know who I am talking about. I am talking about, ladies and gentlemen, Jack Ma, the leader that give us the actual aspect of that. It's not always technical abilities that take you to the heights, right? It is your willingness to grow. It is your thought process to gain the business orientation. So that is why if I say guidelines for understanding and improving relevant competencies, these are some of them. Maintain self-awareness, identify and develop skills, right? Remember that a strength can become a weakness, and compensate for weakness. As I give you an example, that you need to be aware, right? You need to understand your weakness. If you are not good in something, just leave that and practice something that is your strength, right? So yeah, guys, we have talked about the greatest skills of a leader, right? And traits, what could be. And now it's data time. As you can see, right, I have taken it from the top 10 global leadership companies, grounded into 5 themes. When 195 global leaders were asked to rate 74 qualities, these rose to the top. What are those? As you can see, strong ethics and safety. It is not the technical skills. Your self-organization, right? Self-organizing. Your efficient learning. Your way, or how do you clearly communicate with others? Clearly communicate expectations, right? Your efficient learning has the flexibility to change opinions. You don't have I am the one, right? Or I know it all attitude. And how you communicate often and openly. Are you committed to your ongoing training, right? So these are some of the examples that, as I said, it's not technical skills. It's your willingness, it's your willpower, it's your strength, right? That you must ponder more than what you know as a technical person. And then in terms of this example from Zenger Folkman, what leadership skills do you need most? And these competencies were voted the most important, right, for all management positions. Can you see? It inspires and motivates others, displays high integrity and honesty, solves problem and analyzes issues, drives for results, and communicates powerfully and prolifically. So that is why, as you can see, that traits and skills are important, but it is mostly important. This is a Harvard Business Review data, that most importantly, right, how do you communicate? How do you take people with others, right? How do you influence them and inspire them matters the most to the people. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I am done with today's session. Hopefully you found this useful. And as you can see, these are my details, right? My website, my email address. Should you want to put any comment, feel free to put a comment or ask questions. I would be really happy to answer your questions. Please keep on doing whatever you are doing in your best way. And I see you in session 7. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.